Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. Today we will discuss about nested if conditions or nested if else conditions. The concept is same whether it's a nested if condition or nested if else conditions. So let's first discuss when do we call a condition nested. Whenever we have written one if condition inside another if condition, then it is called nested if condition. One if condition is present inside another if condition. You can think of it like a box. A box is present inside another box, and if we want to see the inner box, we first need to open the outer box. So why do we need to nest these conditions? Basically it depends on the priority of condition. We want to do something and it is dependent on multiple conditions. If all of those conditions are true, then only we want to perform a certain task. I know this is very confusing right now, so let me explain these things with the help of demos. So I have already created the demos, and let me walk you through the code first one by one. I have a boolean variable. I'm calling it is internet available, and right now it contains the value true. Let's imagine that somehow I have written a piece of code and that piece of code stores a value true if the internet is available on my computer. Similarly, let's assume that if Google is working, somehow magically a true value is being stored inside this variable, which is I'm calling is Google working. So I have these two variables which will tell me if the internet is available on my device or not, and if the Google is working or not. And let's say based on these two conditions, I want to search something. Whenever we search something, the first priority, the first thing that we check is we check whether we are connected to the internet or not. So I write an if condition, and that first if condition, it checks if internet is available or not. Then I have written another if condition that checks if Google is working or not. Now if internet is available and Google is working, then I go on Google and search for nested if conditions. Here I have used nested if conditions, and let me explain why I used the nested if conditions for this scenario, and why this condition is internet available is checked first, and why is Google working or not is checked afterwards. So first thing, why I have written two conditions, because I can only search on the Google if the internet is available and if Google is working. If either of these two things are not working, I cannot search something on the Google Chrome. So it makes sense that okay, before I can type something on the Google, and if I try to search something, I make sure that the internet is available and the Google is working. So this task that I can search something basically is dependent on two things. The internet should be available and the Google Chrome should work. Now you guys can ask that, hey, why put it inside and why put this internet availability outside as the outer if condition? The reason I have written this is internet available outside is because think about it, guys. If internet is not available, I cannot even check if Google Chrome is working or not. This is Google Chrome working condition is dependent on this outer condition. It has more priority. It makes more sense. So here I want to perform this task, and this task is dependent on two things. So in computers, whenever we have to perform the task, we check multiple things before we can do that certain thing. For example, I write a program to download a file from the internet. So before I can download that file from the internet, as a good programmer, I should always make sure that there is enough space available on my computer to store that file, the internet is available, and then only I should start downloading that file. That's how we use these nested if conditions in our real life. We make decisions based on multiple things, then only we can write robust programs which can always work. For example, when we use the Google Chrome or any other internet applications, if something is wrong, we get a message right away that hey, internet is not available, or there is not enough space available on your hard drive. Why we get these messages? Because someone has written nested if else conditions behind the scenes which are checking all of these things, and then only they are allowing you to download something. Now let me show you more demos, let me show you more examples, and it will make more sense. Let's say we are in another scenario. There is a medicine which is available in a different city, and we want to get that medicine. So as a human being, what I should be doing before I travel to the other city to get that medicine, it makes sense that I first call that medical store, or from where I'm getting that medicine, I call that store and I check the availability. It does not make sense that I first travel 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers and then only I find out, okay, the medicine is not available and I have wasted a lot of time and fuel. If as a human being I have to take this decision, what I will do, first I will make sure the availability, and then let's say if I want to go and get that medicine, I will check if I have the enough fuel or not. So I have written this in the form of a program. I have created a variable, is medicine available, and if the medicine is available, I will be having a true inside this variable. Then I have another variable of boolean type, is fuel enough or not to travel to that city, and right now it has a true inside it. Then I am checking first if the medicine is available or not. Why it makes sense? Because I don't want to travel 200 or 300 kilometers without this information and then I waste time and money and fuel, right? If the medicine is available, then only I want to perform this operation. So computers, they work in a very similar fashion. They also think just like humans, but it depends if someone has written proper logic so that they can take proper decisions. So if the medicine is available, if there is a true, this if condition will work. We will get inside this part and then we check if the fuel is enough or not. If the fuel is enough, then we say let's go get the medicine, else let's refill the car first. If we use nested if-else conditions, these computers can also take wise decisions and they can save a lot of time. For example, there is no point of trying to download a file if the internet is not available. Your program will never succeed. So it makes sense we first check the internet, then we check the availability of that file, then we check the space on the hard drive, and then only we try to download that file. So if you want to write intelligent softwares which can take decisions just like we humans do, you should be using nested if-else conditions, and in fact you will be using a lot of if-else conditions in your programs as a developer or as a tester. So let me run this code and let me show you the output. So I see let's get the medicine, but check this out. If the is medicine available is false, this computer program, it will ignore everything inside this if condition. There is no purpose now of checking the fuel tank because the medicine is not available for this scenario. Maybe we want to check the fuel tank for other scenarios, but for this scenario there is no point. So because I have nested these if else conditions, now computer is not even checking this piece of code. Okay, now let's see another example, and this one is a little more complicated, but let me explain and let me walk you through this example so things are more clear. Here we are checking if the medicine is available or not. So again, we want to get this medicine from the other city. Then we check if the enough fuel is available or not, and then we also check the distance between these two cities, and based on these three pieces of information we make the decision whether we should go to the other city to get the medicine or not. So first of all, because this is medicine available, this element is the most important, I check this first. And check this out, all other code is nested, is placed inside this if condition. If this if condition fails, none of this is executed. And once the medicine is available, next thing that I want to do is I want to check if the car has enough fuel or not. If I have the enough fuel, I want to go and get the medicine. Otherwise, I need to refill the car. I have written another if else. So this time check this out. I am nesting, I'm placing if else inside an if. So you can also do that. We can nest if inside another if, we can nest if else inside if, we can nest if else if inside if. Basically you can nest one type of condition inside any other type of if condition. It totally depends on the business scenario that you are trying to solve. So you are trying to write a program which can take wise decisions just like humans, and then it performs the task. So we then check if the fuel is enough or not. If it is available, then let's go get the medicine. If this is not the case, if there is not enough fuel, then we need to refill the tank first. And again, we want to take wise decisions. So what we do, we check that how far the city is. So we write another if condition. If the city is less than 200 kilometers, maybe I want to refill half of the tank. However, if it is more than 200 kilometers, I want to refill the full tank, and then only I want to go and get the medicine. So right now, is medicine available is true, fuel is enough. So what will happen? First, this line of code will be executed, then it will check this condition. This is also true, so this is the output that we will see. Let me run this and we see, let's go get the medicine. To make it false, this time this condition will fail. We have false in here. Whenever we have a false inside the if part, then the else part is executed. So this is the code that we have inside the else part. So first on the console we will see, let's refill the car first. To make things more easier, let me put 130. So after this condition will be checked because the city distance is less than 200. Computer will say, let's refill half of the tank and then let's go get the medicine. So we are trying to build intelligent programs here, and that's where we use these if else conditions, so that these programs that we build, they can also take decisions just like humans. So we see, let's refill the car first, then let's refill the half of the tank, and then let's go get the medicine. Let me quickly also debug this code for you line by line so that you see what is going on. So I place the debug point and then I click on debug instead of run. So first we check this condition. This is true. So Java will enter inside this if block. Then we check, is fuel enough? Because this is false, and check this out, it has grayed out this line of code. Then it goes to the else part. Then it executes, let's refill the car first. In the moment we execute this, I am clicking on this console and I see this output. Then it checks if the city is less than 200 kilometers. Yes, it is. So it says, okay, let's only refill half of the tank. And then it says, okay, let's go get the medicine. So check this out. With the help of these if-else conditions, we are able to write intelligent programs which can take decisions just like humans. And this is how nested if-else conditions work. I hope it is clear now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.